500 gone already, Dennis, just from one mention. And listen, bonus buys do not come in the same amount of quantity as today's specials do. So if you bought the today's special, this bonus buy is $29.99. That's a $56 savings. It's a brand new 7-second flash liquid mask. You put this on in the shower. It's the last thing you put on. You only need to leave it on for 7 seconds and you rinse it away. And now if you have dull, flat, lifeless hair, this is going to give you incredible volume. And also if you have a dry scalp, this is amazing.
I forgot what now I know why Amanda loves it. It has a bit of a Fruit Loops.
Yeah, it's beautiful, right? So we have all the same scents as the today's special.
Oh my God.
So
That's
Alpine,
my new favorite.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Alpine Bloom is the powdered floral. The Skybound Peaks is crisp Alpine. Mountain Eclipse is your amber vanilla with floral notes. And then Summit Glow is amber vanilla, but creamy saffron in the mix. This has got to be the coolest thing. It starts as a liquid.
Yeah,
and then the water hits it, and it turns into this like
yeah.
lather.
So Johnny, we'll do it at the sink.
Who is this for?
But on my hand, I'll show you. It comes out, and it's just a clear liquid. Oop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it's really thin, but it's a fluid. But once we put, and you'll see it. We'll go to the wash basin. But once you put water to it, and you add a little bit of friction, and actually you'll feel it. It warms up.
I got to see this up close. I'm heading over. So, and I noticed, Gianni, you're just kind of dragging it along the scalp, right? To kind of let the product come out.
One down the center, one down each side.
Okay.
Right? And just tilt your head back a bit when you do it.
Okay.
It'll catch in between. You want it to the scalp and the root area, and then you add a little, well, your hair's gonna be wet when you apply it.
Sure.
And then add that friction to it, and the more that you do it, so another way of controlling it, the more cream you get, that means you're going to get more volume.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Sorry, the more cream you get, you're going to get more reduction in breakage. The less cream, so if you just activate it a bit, let it sit for 7 seconds, rinse out, you get more volume.
Okay, got it. So this is really cool to watch.
So it's triggered by the color. So if you see it going really, really white, that means, and to the point where, okay, now it's between your fingers, and it's attaching to your hands, you're done. And it's 7 seconds.
Well, I thought the coolest thing about this was an average of 98.2% reduction in breakage. So think about this. Let's say you brush your hair and there's 100 hairs in the brush. If you were to use this mask, that means you could see 2 hairs in the brush, right?
And that was on its own.
That's an average. Some had more.
Yeah, and we always go to the lowest, and remember, this was used on its own.
Okay.
So basically, when you bring this in, with the volumizing aspect of it, this is that biosculpting. So this is all done thermal.
Okay.
So basically heat or cold. The hotter you go, so in other words, even the water temperature, when you're washing your hair, if you go to a hotter temperature, not scorching or anything, but just a hot shower, you're gonna find your hair will then basically start getting some grip to it.
Yeah.
You'll be able to detangle, but you're gonna find that when you bring the round brush in, it won't even need a styling.
So it'll help hold.
And when your hair's still wet, just take like 4 or 5 drops, put it between your hand, emulsify, work that through your hair, and then you've got your own styling cream, basically.
Wow, and not only that, touchable. And look at how her style goes right back after Gianni takes his hands out. I mean, her hair is almost out of frame. There's so much volume, it's amazing.
But look at you see those little strips of color, the highlights. We didn't put them in, they were always there.
Now I get why this is called a splash mask. And so let me ask you then, do you do this just a couple times a week? Does it replace conditioner? Like, what's the order of operations here?
So I would say frequency of use, you'd want to get it in at least 2 to 3 times a week. Okay. And it doesn't mean you have to wash your hair 2 or 3 times. You can even bring this in as a leave-in.
Oh, I like that.
So if you're not going to wash your hair and you bring this in, just wet your hands with water. 2 or 3 drops, emulsify. And then work that through your hair.
Look at this on curls.
And then style with it.
They're so defined and, again, not crunchy. Especially with curly hair. My sister has ringlets, and she's like, I hate it when a product makes my hair crunchy.
No, this one, there's no hold in it. It's a bond. Basically, I uncovered a whole new way of creating a bond onto the hair. It's like a Bondo, really. It fills in all the cracks and all the damage. And it's not a forever thing. We found anywhere from 24 hours to up to 3 days, depending on how much action your hair gets. In other words, from temperature changes, you touching it, where you live, temperature and season plays a big role on, especially with hair. between humidity, dryness. So that's why I'm always after finding like an adapter. How do we put something in the hair that can adapt to temperature?
Yes.
Can adapt to the season that you're in. And that's what we're starting to do. So this whole XtraORDINARY series that I'm bringing to you, we're starting here now in January, winter. This is more of a winter-based formula. It doesn't mean you can't use it in summer, absolutely. But then what'll happen is when you're in the summer, you can even mix this with your summer formula.
Wow.
Because you're going through different change, like temperature change. If you're at 90 degrees and you drop to 50, well, that's, your hair is treating that 50 like you've now jumped season.
Yeah.
Right? So if you've got something in the hair that's thermal that can control that, so in other words, a balancer. So when you go at 50 degrees, it's going to
adjust to help your hair.
Because it's reversed. So when it gets cold, it'll start heating up. And when it gets too hot, it starts cooling down.
You guys,
so it's like a regulator, really.
This is so neat. And this is the world launch, and it is the Liquid Splash Mask. And I will say, we don't have auto ship on this. So
we couldn't.
You can't. Like, this is small batch. Like I mentioned, there's not nearly as much quantity as our Today's Special. And I mentioned that because if you're getting the Today's Special, you can pick this up at $56 off. It'd be $29.99 with the Today's Special. It's our bonus buy. And it's huge. It's a 16-ounce bottle. Now, if you're just buying it alone, that's fine, but it's $86, which, again, extraordinary ingredients, extraordinary formula.
And the process, because there's water. There's a bit of water in the formula, and it's activated by water. So,
interesting.
Yeah, I had to find a way of encapsulating that water or the ingredient into the water. And that's why right now I can't mass produce this. It has to be done really small batches.
Okay.
And once we figure that out, then we can go, and then we'll be able to offer that auto delivery. But I
just want to show you.
It's a whole different way of processing even ingredients. And we're doing it, which is great for the carbon footprint. We're not heating anything up.
Yep.
So it's cold processed. Even some of the ingredients that we're using, cold pressed seeds. And I've started learning about seeds now that, come on, when you grow something, what do you plant in the ground?
Right.
So if you want,
smells amazing.
If you want the best of the best when it comes to actives for scalp and hair, you want to plant something. That's basically, you go to seeds. The only issue with seeds, they're really tiny.
Yes, yeah.
You don't get a lot of our, when you imagine how many seeds I need to cold press. Yeah, so when I decided to do it, and we got into it, I realized, oh, geez, we can't make a lot of these. But it's potent.
Well, then you might want to grab yours while you can, because how many have sold already, Kevin? Almost 1,000.
Yeah, we don't have a lot.
First presentation, okay? This is the Skybound Peaks. Holy cow,
Yeah,
I actually
right?
smell some lemon in there, too.
Yeah, it's
fresh.
Because I said it's zesty, right? So it's kind of, I wouldn't say Fruit Loops. I love Fruit Loops.
But this one's not quite as creamy.
No.
Like the milk is not there. It's like just the Fruit Loop.
But it's basically Fruit Loops is made with like a lemon zest, lime.
Yes.
And they bring in, I believe it's like raspberry. So with this, imagine the winter side of it, cranberry, and the lemon zest is kind of like a pine lemon. Those two kind of together, and that's why it doesn't smell like pine needles.
No, it doesn't.
And that's why when I went to smell it, in my mind I'm thinking, because it says, pine.
Yeah, it does. But don't think that means like Christmas time scent. It's very clean and fresh and zesty.
I just went from saffron being my #1 to now I've been doing this since I made them all. I switch all the time, and that's the problem.
Skybound Peaks is our most limited. The saffron that you mentioned is called Summit's Glow, and it is a warm and creamy saffron, amber, and vanilla. So it's beautiful, it's soft, but it's very unique. Like, there's something so different about it.
Yeah, they're all so, honestly,
good.
I wish you could get all four at the same time, and I'm going to look at even doing discoveries with that's why I want to bring in the fragrances as a separate thing, because then it doesn't become so limited.
I like that. Alpine Bloom, that's the powdered floral. It's a really, really fresh and floral with white lily and peony. And then the last one we didn't mention is the Mountain Eclipse, and that is, we call it warm and mysterious, which it definitely is, with the comfort of amber, vanilla, and floral notes.
Yeah, it's the closest to amber vanilla as our signature scent. Out of all of them, that one is the amber vanilla, just with a winter kind of breeze set to it.
Wow. Look at her color.
With some floral, yeah. And Midge's hair, that whiteness
Wow,
of
I
it.
know,
It's hard to
beautiful.
achieve that, but it's getting easy for us now.
So if someone's flipping channels, they just joined us, we're talking about a brand new product. It's your
Yes.
7-second flash liquid volumizing and
Liquid to cream,
repairing
yeah.
mask. So let's tell everybody how that works.
So it's a fluid, kind of like a thick water fluid that basically and there's a bit of water in it, but that water's encapsulated. So it's actually, the thermogel is basically a bubble, and inside the bubble is water.
Okay.
So how you activate it is you wet your hair, you apply this to the hair and scalp, and then with friction, because your hair is wet, basically that bubble bursts. So that thermogel now is, while you're adding friction, is you want it to spread. It'll then turn into a cream, so it becomes more slippy. So you can detangle, and that spreads better. You want to get it from basically scalp, roots, and drag that right down to your ends.
Okay.
7 seconds later, that's when you're done. You rinse that out, and you will be amazed when you start, if you're gonna blow dry or even flat iron. With heat, it'll start to thicken up. Even though you've rinsed it out, it's bonded onto the hair. It's nanoed. So nano is basically 200 times size in particle size smaller. And that's the Ojan, which is my first ingredient ever found. A lab in Brazil, they're all green. They're called nanoscoping. So it's a actually clean nano, no irons, no metals, no particles. That basically, I stumbled on, I Googled that one. Oh, God, my lip.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so that one, ingredient hunter, yeah, I Googled it because I was looking for the orange peel that surrounds the nut that I've been using for 25 years because it was too bright orange. When they adapted the two and nanoed it, it turned into like a yellowish white creamy oil. Oh. I started playing with that and our thermo gel, and oh my God, where I am now with hair, yeah, you're getting the best of the best. So volume, you'll achieve massive volume with this and a 98% reduction in breakage. It doesn't get better.
98% reduction in breakage.
7 seconds.
That's instrumentally tested after one use, you guys. So if you bought the Today Special, you can pick this up at $56 off. It'd be $29.99 for you. Otherwise, if you're getting it on its own, it is $86. There is no auto ship. There is fewer quantity in this than there is the Today Special. So not everybody who gets the Today Special at the end of the day is going to be able to pick this up as a bonus.
Don't wait on it. I'm telling you, it's a breakthrough, and it works on every single hair type, and you won't make a mistake. You can't.
Well, I'm excited. We still have a whole nother hour and 15 minutes together.